Paul was never an apostle. Why? Because he never met the requirements to be an apostle.
Such a prideful, arrogant punk that can't take correction. This explains everything because you're a Paul denier. And you had the nerve to use the book of Acts and sit there and prove your point? Well, you're going to have to throw that bad boy out because Acts is quoting Paul's letters. Paul was quoting the freaking book of Acts right there in Acts 10. If you read from verses, let me see, 34 to 43, you'll see the quote right there in 2 Timothy chapter 4, where he says, "Who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom." Because right down here, towards the bottom part of close to 43, it says, "And he commanded us to preach unto the people and to testify that it is he which was ordained of God to be the judge of the quick and the dead." And then you're going to have to throw out the book of Peter, right? Because it says right here in 1 Peter chapter 4, you get down to the part where it says, "Here shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead." Uh-oh. Well, then you're going to throw out the book of Jude, because Jude's quoting Paul. James is quoting Paul. And Luke is the one that wrote the book of Acts. So you're going to have to throw out the book of Luke too. So therefore, you know it, you ain't going to even have a New Testament. So that just proves that you're false. I mean, we already knew this before then, but this just puts the icing and the cherry on top of the cake. You prideful, arrogant punk. You're going to find out the hard way. All these people you're trying to lead astray in the great tribulation, Father's going to whoop your ass. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And you're going to probably be one of those tribulation saints. Yeah, you might bring you a big old sock pile full of people that you told the truth to when you finally know the truth. But why sit there and keep on fighting, kicking against the pricks? Why can't you let yourself be defrauded and start really truly telling these people the gospel and telling them what's going to save their soul? The 10 Commandments, eating clean, and what I'm doing right now, loving my neighbor as myself. Such a prideful, arrogant punk, man. It is funny that you're so smart, but you're so stupid at the same time because you didn't even notice he was quoting all these other books in the New Testament. So, like the backdrop, Paul would kick your ass because he says, the more I love, the less I love. I get it. But now I ask you, am I therefore become your enemy? Because I tell you the truth. Repent.
So that was an absolute meltdown. Like, I deal with that with my children all the time, but what was impressive is how you managed to scream for a full 2.5 minutes and still never answered the one question that matters. Because no amount of quick and the dead, random cross references, fake mic drops, or spiritual chest thumping changes the issue. Did Paul meet the Acts 1 requirements for the apostolic office? No. And that's why you had to go on a full theological scavenger hunt instead of just answering it. Because you really thought these books use similar wording means Paul now magically qualifies for an office with stated requirements. That's not exegesis. That's panic with the Bible app. And the irony of calling me prideful while you're out here saying the Father's going to whoop my ass like an unhinged TikTok prophet is incredible. You didn't refute anything. You just threw a tantrum in King James cosplay. So let me simplify this, since you stitched me first and your sermon clearly didn't help anything. So first, shared wording doesn't equal authorship. Second, authorship doesn't equal office. Third, being used does not equal qualifying. Fourth, yelling doesn't equal proving. Luke writing Acts doesn't rescue your argument either. Peter mentioning Paul doesn't rescue your argument. And Jude, James, Timothy, and your little verse blender doesn't rescue your argument either, because none of them erase Acts 1. Matthias met the requirement. Paul didn't. And that's the point. That has always been the point. And the more you flail around it, the funnier it gets. So next time, skip the spiritual fan fiction and answer the actual question, or stitch me again and embarrass yourself twice.